I'm Ashley Budd, producer and host at Higher Ed Live, and I'm here with Jennifer Montminy from Penn State. Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for having us here at the conference. I know you're been involved on the conference committee, but you're also here as a presenter.
I am.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that presenter role, how the proposal process was.
Absolutely.
And then tell me a little bit about what you're speaking about.
Okay, awesome. Well, the proposal process was very, very easy to manage. They had a form on their website. I went in, I did put together an abstract, and we submitted it. I had a co-presenter who works with me on social media in our unit. And we heard very quickly the proposal process was sometime this fall, and it was only a few months later that we heard, which was really, really nice. So then the presentation that we gave was about looking in and then building out the secret power of the internal social media strategy. Yes. No. So I love how they all have these really catchy titles.
Yes.
Just like looking through some of them on the program, it's like, wow, that's really clever.
Yes.
So we were really talking about how putting processes in place in your unit, in your group, in your department, in your college, whatever that scale that you're working with is so important for social media. And how sometimes we balk at the idea of process and this big, bad, scary word. Is social supposed to be free and expressive and creative and authentic? And so people don't like the idea of process, but if it's done the right way, it can be liberating, not controlling. So we were looking at how you can effectively and tactically implement that in your unit.
Well, and that's one of the things that I appreciate so much about this conference is that especially things like social media, you see a lot of conferences that's at a very 101 level still. Yeah. And to be able to elevate it to talk about process, to talk about getting beyond how do we do it to what are the best practices, it's really exciting. So glad that you were here, both making it happen and talking about an important topic. But can you tell me a little bit more about just your experience and if there were any of the presentations that you saw that were good takeaways for you?
There were a lot of fantastic takeaways, to be honest with you. I loved the sessions. I didn't get to go to as many as I would have liked because so often I was working the back channels or I was running around putting up signs. But I got to attend the keynotes, obviously, and I was just really, really wowed by how inspiring all of them were in different ways. I loved what Jeremy was talking about progressive enhancement and how that just makes sense. It makes sense that, and what I really loved about his, kind of just speaking to your point about you get to talk about best practices, but then we also get to talk about some of the tactical stuff. He went to the theory and to kind of like, okay, so this is how rhetorically these softwares work, and they're opinionated because they're built to do certain things. But then he could also go very much into the tactical of like, this is how HTML works, this is how CSS works, this is how JavaScript works, and this is why they stack on. I love that he had the entire range. And I think between Tiffany and Alexis, it was so inspiring. I feel like one of the best parts about this conference and conferences in general is that you get to take a moment out of the busyness of your day and the grind, and you just get to remember how powerful what we work with is, and that there are so many opportunities for you to just do. So the keynotes were really, really incredible. But even the two sessions that I was able to attend, I loved the range of, again, the kind of being able to actually apply it in the tactical stuff, and then the overarching best practices. I like to push myself when I go to conferences and do something that's not necessarily in my wheelhouse because that's how you learn. So I went to a great session on CSS and kind of adding a lot more into that, and that was really interesting, even though some of it was beyond me. And then I went to one about infographics and design, and she gave you a lot of hands-on tools as well as here are just some great ideas to pursue when thinking about it. So sorry, that was a very long answer, but
that was a great answer. Are there, things that you're looking forward to for the future of the Penn State Web Conference?
I am looking forward to seeing some of these people again that I met this year. It's a fantastic community, and how close you do get with the keynotes. You get to talk to them, you get to have lunch with them, you get to have a drink with them. And that's really special. You get to meet these amazing people. So I can only imagine what next year's keynote lineup is going to be like. So that I'm certainly looking forward to.
Well, I am too. This is my third year coming, and it's one of the conferences I look forward to every year. So I hope to see you again next year and hang out.
Yeah. Heck yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.